What's going on, everybody? This is 718 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. And I'm gonna stick to the Falcons today. I'm gonna stick with them, and I got just another good question or just another good discussion because at work today, I was just sitting back just thinking. And I was like, Falcons are in the fourth. They're the fourth seed right now. It doesn't look like they'll move up any higher based on what the Lions, Niners, and Eagles are doing right now. But what if they go on a run if they make the playoffs? Or will they just be one and done? Like, what are we really talking about here? Now, I want to be a little optimistic because I'm not really high on Coach Arthur Smith or Desmond Ridder for that matter. I think they're exactly what they are, mediocre at best. But what if this team do go on a run? What if they're one and done? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Because I want to talk about this. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I am on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. You can find me on any of those avenues. I can also be found on Twitter or X at VF Baller, and the website is firstandframerates.com. I'm just going to jump and dive right into this because I think this is actually a fascinating discussion. And I know a lot of people may not be on board with this. They're probably thinking, hey, they're the fourth seed. They're going to host a home game and the Falcons are going to get beat. I'm not really sure if they would necessarily, quote unquote, get beat at home. So that's advantage Falcons. And that's not saying that, it's going to be a given. I'm just not sure. I think they can go on a slight run if that's the case. My thing is once you're in, anything can happen. It doesn't matter if you're a 4 seed, 6 seed, 7 seed, 9 seed, it doesn't matter. Once you're in, you're good. So anything goes. And the Falcons defense, even with the injuries that are going on right now, which it looks like the injuries aren't that bad, which is a really good thing. Look like we're going to get a good bit of our pieces back. Hopefully by the time most of them do come back, we'll be 2 or 3 games ahead of 500, but you can pray. But it's just something to think about because I don't like to talk too much, which as far as going too far in the future, but I see the potential of this team winning most of their games out. Probably losing maybe one more because the rest of these teams are extremely winnable games. Extremely winnable. I'm looking at the Colts. They're looking like they're on a little bit of a hot streak right now. They are a playoff team right now. And the Bears, even though the Bears aren't that good, we're playing them in their stadium. So that's going to be somewhat of a task to overcome. The other games are divisional rivals. We kind of know what we're getting. And I think that we should be okay against the other divisional teams. So with that being said, I can see us getting up to 9 games at the minimum. That gets us a playoff game at home. And we're probably going to be sitting here against the Cowboys. Now, Cowboys defense is something serious. I don't see us really beating them. It looks like they could be one and done. But what if they do beat the Cowboys? Now, the Falcons defense isn't that bad. I mean, they're actually pretty good. I know the Cowboys got a lot more firepower than what we're facing now. But what if they do get past the Cowboys? Where do they go from there? Will they play against, the 49ers? Do they play the Lions? I mean, what happens there? Because, you still, the lowest remaining seed will go to the next game. And not necessarily, that doesn't mean that the lowest seed will be the Falcons. I mean, to be honest, you look at a situation where the Vikings or the Packers, what if they upset somebody? You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's just not far-fetched. And I know all this can change right now is on the screen. I think the first top 3 are a lock. The Falcons, not so much. But looking at the rest of the division, I don't see anybody catching them. To be honest, the rest of the division is just that bad. But if they do beat the Cowboys, and you got to have a couple other things go your way, you could be in for a treat. Because, like I said, it's like, you could be the 4th seed, if, let's say, the Vikings with the Packers, which the Packers are starting to look pretty good, if they upset somebody, it's a possibility the Falcons could be moving to another game that's possibly winnable. I mean, you just gotta. I mean, just to be honest. So once you're in, anything can happen. Do I think they can beat the Cowboys? I'm probably like 80 to 10%. I mean 80% to 90%. No, that they're going to be. But it's just something to think about. I mean, once you're in, you got to root for your team. And this is another thing. And I don't want to get too negative when I talk about this. It's just that, a lot of people want this team to lose, just so they can get a high draft pick, or they don't want them to be one and done because they'll probably be like in, purgatory, in that not too much of the top 10, but not in the top, around the top 20 pick of the draft, and you don't think you can get a phenomenal franchise changing player. And I get it. But like I said, I'll say it again. What if we beat the Cowboys at home? I mean, the Cowboys is known for choking in the playoffs. I'm just saying, like, what happens then? I obviously going to need some things to go your way. And I'm not going to lie, I'm liking the Packers right now. The Packers are, they're playing some pretty decent ball. But, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to top, like, the Lions or the Niners. And, I mean, just say they're going to be the lowest seed. They'll probably go up to the Eagles anyway if they do beat the 49ers. But, these are the things that you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if the Vikings beat the Lions? It's just a lot of things that's going to be rolling to where, like, there's no guarantees in the playoffs. There's no Falcons are going to lose, the 49ers going all the way, the Eagles are going to. There's no guarantee. I mean, you just saw the Eagles get beat by the 49ers. It doesn't matter. I mean, once you're in the playoffs, I mean, it's all fair game. I don't think that the Falcons will beat the Cowboys, but to me, I look at it like this. With all of the problems that the Falcons have, I want them to win every game they play. I don't care if you're wearing that uniform. I want you to go out there and beat the other team. It doesn't matter how I feel about Ritter. It doesn't matter how I feel about Arthur Smith. I have my projections on what I think the type of player that Desmond Ritter is and the type of coach that Coach Arthur Smith is. I mean, Coach Arthur Smith's been here almost 3 years now. You kind of know what you're getting. Desmond Ritter been here for a year and a half. You kind of know what you're getting. But I want those guys to beat anybody and everybody they face every week. There's no way I'm going to sit and say, oh, I want them to lose. But it doesn't look good. I think the rest of the teams on their schedule, they're very winnable games. But when the playoffs come, yeah, it's going to be a different type of animal. But you got to also understand, the Falcons are battle tested, and they're like really good at playing one possession games. You're literally in every game. Does that happen with the Cowboys? Probably not. I mean, the last time they played the Cowboys, I think they got blown out. I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, it's fair game once you get in. It's fair game. And then it's not even a given that they'll even play the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? That both teams, them and the Eagles, are 10-2. Anything can happen between now and the next 5 games. The Cowboys could end up going from the 5th seed to the 1st seed. You know what I'm saying? And then, I'm sorry, the Cowboys are 9-3, but they're about to play the Eagles. I don't know who's home or not. I don't know. I think the Cowboys are playing at home. So you just don't know what are we talking about here? To me, I mean, the Seahawks can beat the Niners. So many things can happen. I mean, we're 6-6. We're 3 games out of being in the top 3. I don't see us doing that in 5 games, but you just never know. The only thing you can do is control what you do, and the Falcons are in a position to control what they do against whoever they play against. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sitting here caping saying that I think they can do it, but like, what happens if they go on a run? What happens? Are you going to sit here and actually be upset at the fact that happens? I'm rocking with the ship regardless. It's just that my thing is, like, I know what my team is. And when they're not looking good, I'm going to call it out. When they're looking okay, I'm gonna call it out. When they're looking great, I'm calling it out. At 6-6, and the way this team is playing, they're very mediocre. There's a lot of mediocrity around here. The defense looks lights out, but it's offset by the offense. And that what makes it mediocre. If the offense give you a little bit of what the defense does, there's not many teams beating this team. It's just not. It's not. I mean, the defense is actually playing pretty good ball. They're getting after the quarterback. They're finding ways to, create some turnovers. They're doing what they're supposed to do as a defense. Offense, I don't know, man. I don't know. So it just, does the defense carry this team? Can the defense carry this team? Does the Falcons find a way to stymie? I just don't know. Do they find a way to stymie a team? Because like I said, once you win that first game in the playoffs, I mean, it's off to the races. It's off to the races at that point. You don't never count your team out, especially if they get that first taste of victory in the playoff game and they get that confidence. Anything can happen. Will it happen? Yeah, like I said, it's probably about an 80 to 90% chance it don't. But it could happen. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this commentary, the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is episode 718. What if the Falcons go on a run, or if they're one and done? Let me know. I'm sitting here just thinking like, I don't see it, but if it happens, and can it happen? It's a possibility. Seriously. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Follow me on X or Twitter at VFBaller. And the website is firstandframerates.com. If you want to, support the show monetarily, Cash App and PayPal links are below. And I'm going to get out of here. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, man. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know. Because this is, I find this pretty interesting. I don't think it'll happen, but I find it interesting. All right, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all take it easy and have a good night. Please.